Here's how I sketch something. In this case, I'm going to be using a picture as a reference to sketch. The tools I'm going to use are my sketchbook, my color pencil, an eraser, and a sharpener. The first step is to determine the gesture/flow, like what movement does the drawing give out. I usually mark this out by drawing a simple line that marks the flow of the drawing and the flow that I want in the drawing. Working on your gesture and adding this sort of flow into your work adds more life to your drawing, but if you overdo it, your drawing is going to look a bit wobbly, so you gotta find the sweet spot. The next step is to block out the big shapes that I want. This is the crucial step when it comes to me sketching anything. I analyze the picture, determine the large shapes that makes it up, and replicate that. This is also the stage where I exaggerate things to make it look more appealing. For me, the point of drawing something is to actually create something that hasn't existed before, so I try to make my sketch different from the original reference as much as I can. Then I go ahead and add in the details of the drawing. In this case, the eyes, the nose, the mouth. Something to remember is to prioritize while drawing or sketching. Start from the big things and work your way down to the small stuff. This way you can get your priorities right. Also remember that each shape is not a flat 2D object but a 3D object that exists in space. Once you start looking things like that, your drawings will look like it has more depth to it. But remember, it's also a stylistic reference. You can try and make your sketches look a lot flatter as well. Once I'm done with the details, I'll just go ahead and add in the shadows and the textures. I usually block out the areas where I want to have the shadows and just shade that part. And for the textures, I use a simple technique called hatching or cross-hatching. And if you're wondering how the stylistic choices were made, it's hard to explain, but here it goes. I like my drawings to be sort of tiny, so I imagine themselves to be tiny objects on papers. I use big blobs as a base for my shapes that gives out a weird effect that I like. There are also other things that I use like thick and thin lines, usage of contrasting shapes and lines to add more to my drawing. But these things were added to my toolbox over years of experimentation, so I'd say be patient with finding your own stylistic choices. Experiment and know it's going to take time. So that's it, people. That is how I sketch something.